Hello everybody, it's Nick Vanderlaan from Jerusalem. It's the 18th day of the third month on Elohim's Essene Enoch solar calendar. I'm broadcasting from Jerusalem. I'm going to be starting this message. We're leaving today. It turns out we're going to Cyprus rather than Spain. It's about an hour away. And I'm going to be broadcasting this message on several important things regarding the judgment of the Drunkards of Ephraim. This is a very serious message, and I'll probably put it out in 3 parts. And I'll be starting this message as I broadcast, leaving Jerusalem, through the airport, and as I get to Cyprus. This is a very important message, guys, so please pay attention to the information that I'm going to share with you. Okay, guys, so I didn't film while I was in the airport. Had a very tough day traveling that day, and since I've been here in Cyprus, I've had challenges formatting the information in the right order and sequence to present the information, but it's getting to the time where I just feel like it's better that I just publish it and put it out there. So I'm going to go ahead and present you the information that I have, and hopefully you guys can use it and sort it out and test it on your own. Fair Use Act disclaimer for this video and some of the images that are in this video. So a big portion of the message is going to be about what you see right here. When you look at this picture, this is a very serious picture and what it means. You have United States government literally taking the sign of the covenant that was made by Elohim, that he made with Noah, and he said it for the world, that he would never flood the world again in judgment. And now they're taking this pure sign, this symbol that Yahweh provided, and they're siding with the wicked sodomizers and the wicked homosexuals, and they're just snubbing El Elyon right in his face. And judgment's going to be coming for this, guys. This is a serious thing. And you might say, hey, it was the previous administration. It doesn't matter which administration does it. Look at what the people are doing. It's going to be about pride, guys, about what you see right here. Look at this street just packed with people. I don't take this message lightly at all, and one of my biggest challenges was breaking this up into like 3 messages, because there's several messages within this message. So I have like 3 titles for this message. The first part of this message is warning to the drunkards of Ephraim. Okay, pre-tribulation, pre-70th week judgment of the USA, question mark, California and New York City. Judgment time June 21st to 24th, 2018. So guys, I know that it's coming up pretty fast, but there's some information in this video. There could be a possible pre-tribulation judgment of the drunkards of Ephraim prior to the 70th week starting. And this is what I'm going to want to cover in this video, okay? The drunkards of Ephraim being the United States of America. I know Tim Foster has done a lot of work on proving out the USA to be Ephraim. The tribe of Ephraim, other people out there have done this as well, is saying that Ephraim, the lost tribe of Ephraim is the United States, while Manasseh is Great Britain. So you guys can go ahead and do your own homework on that, but I'm going to go ahead and get some information about the possible timings of the judgment. The second part of this message is regarding to the second day of the 4th month. Is this the day that was the judgment of Sodom and Gomorrah? Also, could this also be Joshua's long day? Could this also be the smiting of the 185,000 Assyrians? Again, judgment between June 21st to 24th, 2018. I don't know. Okay, guys, but this is patterns that I'm seeing that I want to share with you. The last part of this message is when Trump says peace and safety, then sudden destruction of the USA. So is this a possibility, guys, that when Trump says peace and safety, sudden destruction is coming to the USA? Who's it coming to? Israel, Ephraim, Manasseh? Okay, or is it coming to the modern state of Israel, which is Judah? Maybe both. We don't know. But this is something that, again, patterns that I'm seeing that I want to discuss. But an event has to happen to trigger a 10 king reign for the last 70th week that gets set up. And quite possibly the system that we have now doesn't fit. The way that the UN is, it's not divided into 10 kings. And to get that structure, there has to be a complete reformatting. And a lot of people believe that there needs to be World War III needs to happen, and out of that World War III, the New World Order, which is the structure of the 10 nations, will happen. But first, there needs to be World War III. Is World War III pre-70th week? So in addition to the sin of Sodom and Gomorrah, which we'll talk about, which was homosexuality and the possibility that they were doing genetic altering of hybrid living beings, the other sins of Ephraim are great. We violated the Sabbath, okay? The shedding of innocent blood of the Native Americans, of the slaves, of the unborn children, okay? The abortions, of the innocent war casualties, where we've gone in and just caused havoc and chaos and just murdered innocent people, innocent blood for power, especially in the Middle East regarding oil, guys, okay? The mistreatment of the slaves of the USA, okay? Now, my fathers weren't around. The mistreatment of the slaves, of the Africans slaves, of the Irish slaves, of the English slaves, of the Scottish slaves, where they enslaved their own peoples and put them into what is called indentured servitude. But then they would change the servitude rules to continue to extend them out, guys. It was a form of slavery, like it or not, okay? These people were sold for nothing. They were delivered upon receipt for like £3 sterling or £5 sterling per head, but they weren't sold back then, okay? So we'll talk about the Irish slave trade. You can look into the Irish slave trade, the Scottish slave trade, all on your own, whatever that might be. Ephraim enslaved their own people, okay? So the mistreatment of the manservants and the maidservants, right? Our employees that we have in the U.S., the mistreatment and the oppression of the foreigner that happens upon the U.S., okay? The unjust gain that happens, that the U.S. has done. The mistreatment of the poor, of the widows, we can say possibly. There's a lot of work that's always done out of the United States for the poor and the widows. Mistreatment of the orphans, the witchcraft and the idolatry, guys, many more things, right? So some can argue, hey, you know, the U.S. is taking care of widows and orphans and the poor. So what are the judgments that are on the U.S.? Significant judgments when you see what's going on here, okay? So whoever's receiving this message, shalom. Again, my name is Nick Vanderlaan. I've been doing video messages throughout my time in Israel, mainly in Jerusalem, and now I'm here in Cyprus, which is ancient Chittim, as the Spirit of Truth has been leading me into the hidden truths. Looking back at my body of work of my videos, a major theme of my content has always been to support and share the truth of Elohim's Enoch-Assyrian solar calendar, which was preserved by the Assyrians in the Dead Sea Scrolls almost 2,000 years ago. You know, I came into the understanding calendar 6 months ago, and since then, I've just verify this and share with the body of Messiah the truth regarding the calendar. How can we know the timing that he returns if we don't have the right calendar, guys? There's only one calendar out there, either Jewish tradition through the oral Torah and the Talmud, which came from Babylon and the Babylonian ways, or what was preserved by the Assyrians. That's evident and clear in the scriptures, that you can find in the scriptures. Many people have attested that they found the Enoch solar calendar in the scriptures by looking at the scriptures, but it's there, guys. It's been preserved. We now have the true calendar, which was preserved by the Assyrians, and so now we can know what times he returns and the times of the future. Okay, a second theme of my work has always been using the Enoch solar calendar to reconcile the 70th week of the prophecy of Daniel, which is the final 7 years. It's the final 70th week. Also, that was according to Yeshua Messiah, his disciple John, who we know, Yohanan, the Revelator, who right north of here, where I'm at in Cyprus, up north in Patmos, he had his vision while he was on the day of Yahweh, which is the Sabbath day, guys. It's not a Sunday, it's the Sabbath day, it hasn't changed. He had his vision then. And it's something, I believe he was looking east and he saw the beast rise out of the waters of the east. East of Patmos, guys. East of Patmos is Turkey. So is that where the anti-Messiah is coming? Is it coming out of Turkey, guys? Erdogan? Who knows? I don't know. We'll get more understanding as the times come. And my consistent message, guys, has always been pointing people back to the 10 Commandments, okay? Which includes the 7th day Sabbath, the old ancient path of rest find rest for your souls, guys. It's the old ancient path. We'll get into this, but in Jeremiah chapter 5, that's where the rest is at. It's the old ancient path. We'll talk about this. It's also in Isaiah 28. So today is the 28th day of the 3rd month. So according to the Essenes writings, also that you know, the 15th day of the 3rd month is always Shavuot. I recommend that you watch my last 2 videos on the real Shavuot. You can also watch my message on the first fruits, which is where I believe that the Ruach showed me to rightly divide the word of Elohim, rightly dividing Leviticus 23 to show you that the Feast of First Fruits does not happen during the week of unleavened bread. It happens after. The Ruach showed me literally 30 minutes before I was making that video. As I was reading it, the divisions, the breaks and the divisions within the chapter 23 to show the groupings of the feast days, and that everybody tries to use first fruits as that happened the day after the Sabbath during the week of unleavened bread to justify Yeshua raising from the dead on the 3rd day, and that's the day. But that day doesn't happen until the following week, according to the Essenes. When you look at Leviticus 23, that actually confirms what the Essenes believed. Leviticus 23 shows that there's division breaks in the Leviticus 23, that they were correct, that it doesn't happen on the Sabbath, the day after the Sabbath during the Feast of Unleavened Bread. It happens it's the week after, the Sabbath after that one. And the following day is the day of first fruits. So please check that out. Hallelujah, for giving me the understanding to rightly divide the word of Elohim there, guys, on Leviticus chapter 23. Test it for yourselves. See for yourselves. So regarding this video and the information and my theories I will be presenting in this video, these are my interpretations of ancient prophecies made by the prophets of Yahweh. And to clarify, I'm not prophesying, guys. I'm not prophesying here. I don't have a complete understanding either of when these events are going to happen. Is there a pre-tribulational judgment of Ephraim, or does that happen in the final 3.5 years? Please understand the difference from prophesying and interpretation. In this presentation, I'll use scripture and biblical patterns of events to attempt to establish a strong possibility and timing of the fulfillment of a swift and catastrophic judgment of the drunkards of Ephraim / Babylon, the United States of America. With Trump making the peace with North Korea, we see the white horse possibly being established. Again, he's supposed to announce, he said after Ramadan, which just ended this last Friday, that he was going to announce the peace deal, what it looks like now. And guys, remember what happened the last time there was a land for peace deal was kind of made or established. Hurricane Katrina came after, Ariel Sharon got the stroke, and that land for peace deal is not a good thing. Now, announcing it and having it reconfirmed, in September also fits, or announcing it and having destruction happening to the USA once it's announced, or a couple of days after it's announced, and then having someone come in to fill the vacuum and reconfirm this agreement in September still, it fits. So, this is, again, just my interpretations. Several weeks ago before this, I felt that I was being led by the intuition from the Ruach that somehow Isaiah 28 and Jeremiah 49, 50, 51 were linked events. I briefly started looking into the matter and stopped to the other videos I had to make. Since I've had difficulty grouping and organizing the information, and now just decided to publish this information and let everybody process it individually, accordingly, and at least the information is out there. Again, I'm not trying to fearmonger, but if my interpretation and timing of events give you fear, I genuinely believe it is a good thing and encourage you to act on it as I am and have. I'd hate to blow a false alarm, but concerning the timing of this coming of the 70th week, okay, we know that the 70th week is going to start sometime in 2018. How do we know this? Again, to recap one of my videos and to add on some other information that has come that I saw. I didn't find this information out here, but this is information that other people that published that I receive because it just looks too much like a completion. What we have here, guys, is we have 69 weeks in the 7 weeks passing of the declaration to rebuild Jerusalem walls according to Daniel 9:25. So again, let me recap this prophecy while we can say that the 70th week is about to start. Now the 70th week is mentioned in Daniel 9:26 and 9:27. So Suleiman the Magnificent ordered the Jerusalem's walls to be rebuilt in 1535. If you add 69 weeks, which is 7 years per week, times 69 weeks gives you 483 years. So you go 1535 CE plus 483, that equals 2018 CE. That's this year Gregorian. Also, Israel Knesset voted to rebuild Jerusalem in 1969 CE. If you add 49 years, which is 7 weeks, which is the second part, it brings you to 2018 CE, guys. So this is like a double to show that the timing of this is this year. So I believe truly that the 70th week is going to start this year, and it's a 7-year period. I don't believe it's a 3.5-year period. Messiah says we'd be cut off after 62 weeks. So Messiah be cut off. So I don't believe that the 70th week has started. I'm confident in all my currently published videos and the message and information that I have, my body of work with the Seeing Enoch Solar Calendar and our times. Everything that I have up right now, I am confident of. Please understand that this is my interpretation again, guys, and understanding of the coming events, and they aren't for certain. If these events don't unfold in this matter, I apologize, but at the same time, I'm just doing my best, okay, to share my current understanding and have zero ulterior motives than your physical safety and the spiritual safety of your souls. How? Getting back to the ancient path of the 10 Commandments, guys. The 7th-day Sabbath is one of them. It's all what Yeshua taught, all the way through the scriptures. So let's get into it. You saw the pictures that I published of the gay pride parades. And let's listen to Isaiah 28. Woe to the crown of pride. This is the gay pride, guys. This was revealed to my wife while we were in Jerusalem. Okay? This is a fulfillment. The crown of pride is the gay pride that's coming from the U.S. The Drunkards of Ephraim, the United States of America, and Tim Foster's done a lot of great work to prove out this, whose glorious beauty is a fading flower, guys. USA, we've only been a world power since World War I, only like 100 years, maybe a little bit before World War I. We had Navy ships in the late 1800s, but it's only been like 100 years since we've been a world power, which are on the head of the fat valleys of them that are overcome with wine. Valleys is plural, guys. Sonoma Valley in California, Napa Valley in California, San Joaquin Valley, California, all California coastlines, guys. And we're going to get into some graphics that I have that show you this. But the fat valleys are here, overcome with wine. You might also say the fat valleys are oil, right? And we have fat valleys. There's huge oil reserves in the U.S., okay? And that was one of the promises to Ephraim regarding that they would have the fatness of the land, and there's so much oil. The U.S. has the largest oil reserves in the world and is also poised to become the world's top oil producer in 2018. It was the United States that started this. Behold, Yahweh hath a mighty and strong one, which has a tempest of hail and a destroying storm. So who is this mighty and strong one that Yahweh has? Well, it's the angel of Yahweh, Yeshua. As a flood of mighty waters overflowing shall cast down to the earth with the hand. Guys, Sodom and Gomorrah judgment was hail, destroying hail. Joshua's long day, hail. Okay? Meteorites crashing down. David's victory of the Philistines. The smiting of the 185,000 Assyrians. The flood judgment. Guys, we'll talk about some of the work that Gil Broussard did from Planet 7X. He believes that there's a 7th planet in the solar system. I believe that there was a heavenly body. I'm not saying that it was a Planet 7X, but I'm saying it was the angel of Yahweh for certain. Now, was the angel of Yahweh on this planet that mysteriously showed up and came out and destroyed? I don't know, but it's definitely the angel of Yahweh. We're going to get into this. I have some information that I've gathered to share with you guys on this stuff. So, the crown of pride, guys, this is the gay pride, the Drunkards of Ephraim, okay? Again, this is mentioned 2 times within 3 verses. The crown of pride, it's the gay pride. I'm going to prove it. The Drunkards of Ephraim. Guys, who's more drunk than the United States off of wine? Hello. The double mention confirming double judgment shall be trodden under feet. Ephraim was given a double portion of blessing. And you know what? The way that they've treated their slaves, the way that they've violated the 10 commandments, they violated the 613 commandments. violated the commandments of Elohim that was given to them if they be Israel, and how they mistreated all the slaves, all their servants, and done wickedness with killing of innocent blood and all that they have on their hands. Well, the final tipping point is the crown of pride, and it's the gay pride and his vengeance for Zion. And I'm going to prove to you that it came and originated out of Ephraim, out of the United States of America, if the United States be Ephraim. So Ephraim's going to be trodden underfoot. In verse 4, in the glorious beauty. It's the San Francisco Bay Area, guys. There's no more beautiful place in the United States than the San Francisco Bay Area during the summer, which is on the head of the Fat Valley. And I'll show you guys it's on the head of the Fat Valley, which shall be a fading flower, and as the hasty fruit before the summer, which is right about now, which when he looketh it upon it, he seeth it, and while it is in his hands, he eateth it up. So guys, this is coming right about summertime when this thing is supposed to happen. This is giving us an insight into the timing. Right around the time of the summer solstice, guys. Okay, summer, according to Elohim's calendar, is coming up in a little bit. In that day shall Yahweh of hosts be for a crown of glory, and for a diadem of beauty unto the residue, okay, of the people. There's going to be a leftover group of Israelites who survive and will turn zealous. There's also going to be many other peoples, mixed multitude, is my guess, that are going to turn zealous, because it talks about how everyone's going to gather a Jew, or maybe an Israelite, and is going to say, hey, let us go with you to Jerusalem because Elohim is with you. And everybody's going to remember, the people that are left are going to remember Zion, okay? And again, guys, I don't know who the Israelites are. There's people that say, hey, it's the Western Europeans. There's people who say that, hey, it's the black Israelites that are here, okay? I think time, personally, I've looked into the matter, and I've said this before, time will tell who is who when the two prophets arrive, okay? The Israelites are the Israelites. They're Elohim's chosen people, and that's never going to change. Now, there was a mixed multitude that joined to them. But the characterization that all Western Europeans, white people like myself, that they say so-called white men is Esau by the black Israelite camps is completely false, okay? The Esau and the Edomites are still in the land where they say they're going to be when they're going to be destroyed, which is in Jordan and in other parts of current-day Israel that have been in pockets in that particular area. Regarding the Western Europeans, besides Israelites, the only other peoples that they can be are Japhethites, from the descendants of Japheth. They're either Israelites or Japhethites, one or the other, not Edomites and descendants of Esau. So to pick it back up in verse 7, but they have also erred through wine, and through strong drink are out of the way. The priest and the prophet have erred through strong drink. They are swallowed up of wine. They are out of the way through strong drink. They err in vision. They stumble in judgment. Guys, this is modern Christianity right here. Modern Christianity. They stumble in judgment. They don't know how to understand the laws of Elohim. They want a lawless religion. They err in vision. Look at all of the false prophets and the false prophecies that are being made on YouTube everywhere. It's so crazy. All of these numbers that people say, oh, I got a number from Elohim, or I got this number in a vision or in a dream. Where do we see numbers like this in the scriptures as being visions and dreams? These aren't biblical dreams. Oh, 144 or 316 or whatever. You know, I don't see this happening in the scriptures like that. I don't see visions being given to the apostles or to any of the prophets like this. So I don't think that this is the right thing. Now, we did see numbers with Joseph, when Joseph had his dream of the 12 stars bowing to him, right? So there was 12 there, okay, but you know, there was 12 of an item, not just some random number off of a license plate, guys. This is not how visions work. This is not how these dreams work, guys. So for verse 8, for all of their tables are full of vomit and filthiness, so that there's no place clean. Modern Christianity is an unclean religion. It's unholy. It's lawless, guys. You can't have, a religion without the royal law. The royal law is the 10 Commands, including the seventh-day Sabbath. Everybody wants their weekend, and they want to have their Saturday. They all want their weekend, and they all like their cake, and they want to eat it too. They want their Saturday. They want their Sunday. There's no set-apart day to Yahweh. There's no day of these things, guys. We've all violated the Sabbath. It's time to return to the Sabbath. Yeshua taught the 10 Commands everywhere in the scriptures. It was 10. Guys, the seventh-day Sabbath is not done away. Whom shall teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breasts. Guys, this is beyond the gospel of being saved through the blood of Yeshua. Guys, this is the 10 commandments that Yeshua taught. This is the 10 commandments in the scriptures everywhere, the royal law. Okay? For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. For with stammering lips and another tongue he will speak to this people. So someone's going to speak to this people from a language that's not Hebrew, calling people to repentance, calling people back to the 10 commandments with the truth. To whom he said, this is the rest where ye may cause the weary to rest, and this is the refreshing, yet they would not hear. This is not a call to the rapture, okay, guys? What this is a call to the rest of the Sabbath of the 10 commands. Let's get into it and let me prove it to you from Yeshua and from the prophet Jeremiah. Thus saith Yahweh, stand ye in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths, guys, the ancient paths. Where is the good way? And walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk therein. Guys, it's the Sabbath day, okay? Why do you think Israel was judged for those years? Because they didn't keep the Sabbath, guys. The 70 years, that's because they didn't keep the land Sabbath, guys. They didn't keep the Sabbath day the right ways, guys. And here again, this is the same thing Yeshua said. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest for your souls. What did Yeshua teach all throughout the 4 Gospels? The 10 commandments. He showed us how to keep them. His halakha. Halakha is walking the way your teacher walked. Yeshua taught us how to live out the 10 commands, which included the 7th-day Sabbath. Yeah, he walked through fields, but it was a Sabbath-day journey on the 10 commands. Yeah, they ate the grain of the fields. They didn't prepare it. Moses said, that which you bake, that's what you cook, lay aside, and then on the Sabbath day, that's what you're going to eat. So guys, he didn't bake the corn or the grains. He plucked it out. It's like going in your backyard and picking a piece of fruit or grapes or something from a tree in your backyard. There's no different what they did than that. It's not work. He never violated the Sabbath day. And he showed us how to actually keep the Sabbath day, guys. So look, this is lining up this verse regarding whom shall teach knowledge and whom shall make to understand them that are weaned from the milk. These are the people who have received the gospel and have been weaned from the gospel and that are now under understanding, that are on the meat, which is keeping the 10 commands that we violated from the gospel, that we broke the 10 commandments. So that's what this is. This is the ancient path. Look, find rest for your souls. You shall find rest for your souls. You learn from Yeshua how to take the yoke. He says, take his yoke from me, okay? He's meek and lowly in heart. He taught us how to keep these things, guys. They're not a burden to anyone. They're not burdensome, okay? They're a joy to keep. The word of Yahweh is unto them, precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, and a little there, a little here, a little there, that they might go and fall backward and be broken and snared and taken. So this is what it was supposed to be, line upon line, precept on precept. The 10 commandments are not hard. Line upon line, precept upon precept. Guys, they're not that hard. Read 1 John if you think that they're hard. Wherefore, verse 14, okay, hear the word of Yahweh, ye scornful men that rule this people which is in Jerusalem. So my question, I don't have full understanding of this verse because this is the King James. I haven't seen it, how it's written in the Hebrew. I don't speak Hebrew. I usually look back at the concordances. But my question to you guys is, does this verse show that Ephraim is being ruled by the Zionists from Jerusalem, or vice versa? Is Ephraim ruling Jerusalem? Setting policies for Jerusalem? Is Trump trying to set the policies for Jerusalem's peace plan? But I don't know. This is something for you guys to figure out, okay? Look at, Building 7 being pulled down at the World Trade Center, okay? Larry Silverstein, a Zionist, guys, Because ye have said, we have made a covenant with death, and with hell are we at agreement. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not come unto us, for we have made lies our refuge, and under falsehood have we hid. Okay, couple of questions here. Again, I don't understand the fullness of this, but I want to present a couple of ideas that I thought about. Does this mean that modern Israel understands the coming Ezekiel 38 and 39 battle with Russia and an attempt to avert it? Does it sell out the USA, its biggest ally? Death and hell is the name of the rider of the gray pale horse, the fourth horse of the apocalypse in Revelation chapter 6 verse 8. They're literally making a covenant with the rider of the fourth horse of the apocalypse. Therefore, thus saith Master Yahweh, behold, I lay in Zion for a foundation, a stone, a tried stone, a precious cornerstone, a sure foundation. He that believeth shall not make haste. Judgment also will I lay to the line, and to the righteousness to the plummet, and the hail shall sweep away the refuge of lies. Okay, so there's going to be hail coming down, meteors coming down to the earth. Could this be the literal fulfillment of Revelation 12 verses 3 and 4 of the red dragon casting down the meteorites to the earth? Is that what this could be? And water shall overflow the hiding place. Okay, hail was both used in Sodom, Gomorrah, and Joshua's long day, and possibly David's victory over the Philistines, and also the smiting of the Assyrians, possibly the 185,000. Waters overflowing is the judgment of Noah. And what we know about this, guys, Yeshua said that, his coming will be like the days of Noah and the days of Lot, which was Sodom and Gomorrah. 2 days ago, according to Elohim's Assyrian Enoch solar calendar, was the 40th and final day of the flood waters being rained down and poured down on the earth. In a couple of days from now, that I'm projecting to be, Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed. Later on, I'll be sharing information from my biblical anniversary spreadsheet on the Enoch solar calendar proving the dates of the Sodom and Gomorrah, along with the scriptures to support it, that you won't find in the regular 66 book canon. We're right in this time period of this, guys. This is something, this is why I'm putting this on. Now, is this going to happen also? Is this going to happen pre-tribulation, that this event's going to happen, where Yahweh does not touch down on the Mount of Olives, but comes into the sky? And when he comes into the sky, he's seen in the sky, and he catches up the wise virgins with the oil in their lamps. Ezekiel 38 and 39 happens, where those that are saved, he comes in and does this miraculous saving of Israel, of the modern nation of Israel. And then what happens is that all the Jews become zealous for Elohim's name, for Yahweh's name, and then all the peoples of the earth now bind themselves with Israel and says, hey, your God is the God. 10 people come with him and go off to Jerusalem. Is this the fulfillment of this? Is this the right passages lined up? I don't know, but this is just, a possibility that I see that I want to throw out there. So, and your covenant with death shall be disannulled, and your agreement with hell shall not stand. And when the overflowing scourge shall pass through, then ye shall be trodden down by it. Okay? What is this troddening down? We know there's a trodden down 3.5 years by the feet of the Gentiles. From that time on, Jerusalem's trodden down 3.5 years. So is that pertaining to this? I don't have 100%. Like I said, there's two possibilities. There's a pre-tribulational judgment and then the halfway through. But I believe that it's this time period right around during the summertime season, which is the 4th month when Sodom and Gomorrah happens, that this event's going to happen. And we're going to get into more in this, so just bear with me in this long presentation that I have. I'm sorry. From that time that it goeth forth, it shall take you. From morning by morning it shall pass over, and by day and by night. And it shall be a vexation only to understand the report. So it looks like morning by morning, so that's like a full day. By day and by night. By day and by night is almost another full day. It doesn't make it to the next morning. So it looks like it is about a little less than 2 days that this thing passes through. There's something here between the June 21st and the 24th of this year. I know it's only in a couple of days, guys. I know this video is late. This is what I see. I don't, can't say that it is or not. So let's see. While making this video, I also noticed that there's going to be a solar eclipse on the summer solstice in June 21st, 2020. So that's also a possibility that I'll be touching on while in later on in this video. Please watch this entire video series I'm going to be publishing. And it shall be a vexation to only understand the report. This scourge passing over is going to be a pretty scary thing. For the bed is shorter than a man that can stretch himself on it, and the covering narrow than that he can wrap himself in. Okay, this is not a comfortable thing. I'm 6'9". I've slept in a lot of small, tiny beds. It's not a good feeling to sleep. You cannot get a good night's sleep if you can't stretch yourself when you're sleeping at night. It's horrible. So if you ever slept in a tight, confined place, you understand what it's like. It's not a good experience. Verse 21, for Yahweh shall rise up as in Mount Perazim. Okay? Mount Perazim was with David when he went out and Yahweh went before him and smote the Philistines. So that's one possibility of Mount Perazim. Also, I'm going to show you that there's a valley, Nahal Perazim. Nahal is valley, okay? The valley of Perazim, which is next to Sodom, down by the Dead Sea. And I'm going to show you this. So I don't know where Mount Perazim is exactly. There's Baal Perazim, there's Mount Perazim. This could apply to both. And he shall be wroth as in the valley of Gibeon. This is Joshua's long day. And I'm going to show you these things. That he may do his work, his strange work, okay, and bring to pass his act, his strange act. The smiting of the Assyrians, 185,000 Assyrians. Guys, the strange work and the strange act. He's going to rise up. Guys, in the sky, like I'm going to show you, I believe, according to my findings, this is what I believe is going to happen. And he's going to appear out of nowhere. Gil Broussard says it's planet 7X. I think it's just an apparition of the angel of Yahweh, the captain of Yahweh's army of hosts, Yeshua, coming up and manifesting himself in the sky. And I'm going to get into it. And he's going to cast out. Now, is he coming on a planet that's unseen in the solar system? I don't know. Earthquakes are increasing. We're seeing the signs of these birth pangs. I don't know, but what I do know, but the California Polytech Institute of Technology, they published a report saying that, hey, they believe that there is a planet that is about the size of Uranus, according to their model, that has like an elliptical orbit, they believe. And that's coming from CalTech, which is one of the most leading institutions of mathematics and applied sciences in the world. I'll put a link to the article in the description box. Now therefore be ye not mockers, lest your bands be made strong, for I have heard from Master Yahweh of hosts a consumption. Here's Master Yahweh of hosts. Again, we're talking about even determined upon the whole earth. So Master Yahweh of hosts, this is the captain of the army of Yahweh of hosts. This is what I'm talking about, guys, that happened in Joshua's long day. He appeared to Joshua, and Joshua said, are you with me or against me? But he said, hey, I'm the captain of the army of Yahweh of hosts. Guys, this is who it is. It's Yeshua, guys, even determined upon the whole earth. Give ye ear and hear my voice. Hearken and hear my speech. Doth the plowman plow all day to sow? Doth he open and break the clods of his ground? When he hath made plain the face thereof, doth he not cast abroad the fitches and scatter the cumin? So as soon as the ground's broken up, does he not spread out the seeds and cast the principal wheat and the appointed barley and the rye in their place? Okay, so this is about planting seed, for his Elohim doth instruct him to discretion and doth teach him. For the fitches are not threshed with the threshing instrument, neither is a cartwheel turned about upon the cumin, but the fitches are beaten out with the staff and the cumin with the dry rod. You should research it, guys. They like smack the cumin so all the seeds come out when it's time for harvest for these items. And you're not going to run the cartwheel over the cumin because it will press out the oils of the cumin, guys. But it's beaten out. Bread corn, so grain is bruised, because he will not even be threshing it, nor break it with the wheel of his cart, nor bruise it with his horsemen. So you go out there and you cut it down with a sickle, and then you bring it and then you beat it out. This also cometh from Yahweh of hosts, which is wonderful in counsel and excellent in working. So this is talking about a gathering of wheat. This is talking about a gathering of the grain. We have cumin. We have all these other different things. So we have cumin here. We have grain. We had rye mentioned. We had fitches. Okay, we have barley. So we have a bunch of different types of grains and seeds that he's talking about harvesting, where you cut it with a sickle or something like that. You would gather it and bind it up into a sheaf. You would bring it to the threshing floor, and then you would beat it out and not put the wheel over it, but it would be beaten out. Okay, so guys, here it is, the pride of the Drunkards of Ephraim. Now I'm going to get into some slides proving some of these things, providing information on it, guys. Look at this. Look at all of the people here, guys. This is the pride of the crown of pride of Ephraim. Why do I say it's the crown of pride of Ephraim? Because gay pride celebrations started in the United States. It started in the USA, which a lot of people say is Ephraim. I'm just saying, I don't know who is Ephraim, who is the lost tribes. Certain things match the Western European people. Certain things match what appears could possibly match the black African, the black Hebrew Israelites. But if there's black Hebrew Israelites, there's white Israelites. We won't know until the two witnesses pop up for sure, for sure. I do believe that the Jews, the tribe of Judah, is in the land, and I believe that the Sephardic Jews definitely are the tribe of Judah. The Sephardic Jews in Spain, the Sephardic Jews all in the northern coast of Africa that went to Portugal, that came over with Christopher Columbus all throughout the Americas and populated. There's now over 100 million Sephardic Jews that don't even know they're Jews in Central America, in South America, in the United States. They look to be Hispanic like they're Mexican, guys, but they're really Jews. Their men carry the J haplogroup, the same J haplogroup that's found all in the region of Israel, Syria, the Arabian Peninsula, guys, all throughout the Arab Peninsula. They look Hispanic. You think they're Hispanic, but a lot of them are really Jewish. So the males carry the J haplogroup. But what's crazy is when I went to Wikipedia and I looked up Middle East haplogroups, Y haplogroups, that the Sephardic Jews, 28% of them are J haplogroup, which is the majority. The other majority of 29% is R1b. And don't forget, guys, that a bunch of the northern tribes reassimilated back into Judah. That the northern tribes that escaped from the Assyrians or that were left by the Assyrians assimilated back into the southern kingdom, which makes sense that a third, that also 29%, just as much as the J of the Sephardic Jews, are R1b. So you have two houses, two different peoples. This is just a hypothesis, guys. I can't say for sure. This is just something to go there, okay? All I know is that I'm in Yeshua and I'm in the Messiah, that I'm covered by the blood of Messiah, and this is what I hold on to. But here's this graphic. 1970 was when the first gay pride parade happened. June 28th. It was in New York City, guys. This is the first gay pride parade ever. Okay. Here's this article taken from Wikipedia on the gay pride parade. The first gay pride parade started in the USA, New York City, June 28, 1969. Then it spread, guys, and it spread like a disease. The next week, on the same weekend, activists in the West Coast held a march in Los Angeles and a gay in San Francisco, guys. New York and San Francisco, okay? So you have New York. A lot of people assimilate New York City being Babylon, a type of Babylon, guys, a type of Babylon. I believe that once New York City is destroyed, that Babylonian spirit is going to go and reside in Saudi Arabia somewhere for the final Babylonian spirit. This is just one of the theories that I have. You know, it might land back in Rome. It might land back in Jerusalem, but it's spread. Also in Chicago, guys. But San Francisco and New York is key, okay? And it happened here in the USA first, Ephraim, possibly Ephraim. Now, this information was taken from gaypridecalendar.com, guys. There's over 150 gay pride festivals in Gay Pride month of June. 100 of them are in the US and Canada. These are major cities with tens and hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people that show up for some of these events, guys, whether it be New York and San Francisco, but other places have hundreds of thousands, and some are tens of thousands, but huge numbers of turnouts. And then also, here are the cities in the world, over 50 cities. So 100 cities in North America, 50 cities in the world. There's over 150 major gay pride celebrations, and it all started where? from the crown of the pride of Ephraim, and it's spread throughout the whole world. Here's a graphic of Northern California. Okay, I'm from Sacramento originally. I did a couple of years of college in Berkeley right here in the San Francisco Bay Area. Here's what I believe to be the head of the Fat Valley. Here's all wine country, Napa, all up in here in Sonoma. Okay, there's wine all through, wine vineyards all throughout here. Okay, the Fat Valley that produces so much wine down here, guys. The grapes and the vineyards everywhere, all throughout in this area as well. And this is one of the most beautiful areas in the world, is right here. And guys, this is what I believe to be the head of the Fat Valley, San Francisco. Literally about a year ago this time, I was in this area for business meetings, and praise Yahweh, hallelujah, that they didn't come to any fruition. Guys, I was in this area, and I was here they were setting up for the Gay Pride Festival. I had to come through San Francisco for a business meeting. I did not know that the Gay Pride was coming along. I had all my wife and my 5 kids with me. We're on a big road show, and Yahweh had me come through there during this time. I hadn't been back in the Bay Area for like, I don't know, for over like 15 years since my days in college, and it was just unbelievable to see the wickedness that was going on. I knew the wickedness when I was college, but I had been living in wickedness then. But now looking back, it's just gotten to a point where, you know, we're at the door of judgment. The U.S. is at the door of judgment. So here, wine country, guys. You can put in wine country on Wikipedia. You can see Northern California, Napa Valley, Sonoma Valley, Alexander, Dry Creek, all of these, Russian River Valley, Sonoma County, all throughout California, Santa Rosa, Sonoma, Kenwood, Petaluma. It's all here, wine country. Okay, which country drinks the most booze? This is the biggest markets, not per capita, but this is just the biggest markets. The U.S. has the biggest market for wine, guys. We also have the second biggest market for beer. Okay, China is we're double behind China. But guys, USA, it's the biggest wine market, not per capita of drinking, but here. Okay, the Drunkards of Ephraim. So I'm going to clip this section right here. This is going to be the first video of the series that I'm going to be putting out. I'll be putting out, next going to be on Babylon, identifying Babylon from Jeremiah 51. And then also we're going to be getting into Joshua's long day, Sodom and Gomorrah, the second day of the 4th month. And then finally we're going to get in a couple other parts that are pretty important regarding peace and safety and setting destruction coming. So guys, take a look out for these next videos that I have coming up. Thanks for watching this. Please leave comments in the comments section. But this is going to do it for Isaiah chapter 28, the drunkards of Ephraim and the judgment that's coming upon them. And shalom.